So the bottom one of those two is what is very relevant. Positive education teaches skills and knowledge. It's teaching skills and to prevent ill-being, the things I was just talking about, but also promote well-being. So there's some statistics about the fact that actually depression is starting with people much, much younger than it used to be the case. 40 years ago, you had to be about 30 for the first onset of depression. These days, they're teenagers. And we all teach teenagers. And therefore, the more we can do to give them the resilience to fight against this, so when these life's ups and downs come, then actually you know what to do about it. That's what we're about. But also about helping people to flourish. Traditional psychology takes people in that bottom section, suffering, languishing, and brings them back to coping. So if you are a sort of -4 person, that's what traditional psychology has done. It's got you back to a level playing field of being able to cope with life. And that is a minority of society, I'm pleased to say. But the majority of society, actually, you can also do more through these things to make more of your life. So if you happen to be just more than coping, then actually there are things you can do in your life on a daily basis to make more of your life satisfaction. So you can just move from coping to performing to flourishing. And that's what our whole program is about. So flourishing we define as being feeling good and doing good. And that in essence is what we mean by flourishing. And this is the way we do it. So flourishing is the center of everything that we're about. And then we teach the various things that are around there, and I'm going to come back to this slide again in a moment. But we start with character strengths. And character strengths are something that we've all got in our lives. Actually, character strengths are something, there are 24 of them, and I'm going to show you a list of them in a minute. Now, you're being very, very polite. You're sitting there and saying, actually, he can't spell. Right? Because you can see I can't spell. You're not sitting there saying, there are 24 words on that page, 23 of them he spelt right. What a fantastic achievement. All you're saying to yourself is he can't spell character, and he's talking about it. And that's what we're wired to do. We're wired to actually find what's gone wrong. And what character strengths are saying is actually what's gone right in your life. And therefore we're saying play to your strengths, character strengths. Find out what is your best thing and then actually make the most of it. Don't work on your weaknesses. That will grow up as well. But actually find your strengths and make the most of them. And those are the 24 character strengths. And should you want to find out what your character strengths are, then you take that survey at the bottom there, viacharacter.org, and then it used to be 240 questions, I think it's now 180 questions, and actually you'll turn out with your top 5 or 6, which are your signature strengths. And if you implement those on a daily basis, then you will make more of your life, whether it be your personal life or your professional life. And there have been thousands of them. This is all based upon the work of a man called Professor Marty Seligman. He spent 6 months with the school in 2008, and we've built everything from his work since, and he is a leading person in this area. But anyway, have a go at that. So going back to this, so character strengths are what we encourage all of our students to develop. Then there are 6 domains which we teach, and if I just take them going around in order, starting with positive emotions, that is the kind of normal things which is about feeling happy, feeling good about yourself. But it's ephemeral. It doesn't last very long. So then we get positive engagement. And positive engagement is actually when time stands still. All the presenters who've been doing it today, time has stood still for them, apart from the ticking clock here. Because in fact, of course, you're in the moment, you're in flow, you're just doing everything else, and you just are in the moment. And that makes so much more of your life. Then we've got positive accomplishment. It's all very well doing things unless you actually achieve something as well. So a positive accomplishment is all part of that thing. It's how we can make most of that. Positive purpose, serving something bigger than yourself. It isn't just about your life satisfaction. It's about helping other people, serving other people, making more, serving something bigger than yourself. Positive relationships. Everything is about relationships in life, isn't it? How we do anything is because we work and relate to other people. And how we can develop and improve our relationships is what we do in that domain. And then we've got, I think, positive health. Marty doesn't have positive health. He has the other 5. He has it called PERMA, but we've added health. It seems to us that unless you've got health, it's so difficult actually to live a life of great satisfaction. And actually, therefore, it's about sleep and all the nourishment and nutrition, those kind of aspects of it as well. And then what we do is we We learn it, live it, teach it, and embed it. So what we do is if you want to work at our school in any capacity, whether you are going to be the principal, the cook, an accountant, or anywhere in between, then you must do a 4-day course with us before you start, so that everybody as a community is on board. It isn't just for the teaching staff, it is for all staff. And then you live it in terms of how you live your life. We then teach it to the students on a daily basis, so all our students from K to year 10 are taught positive psychology or positive education in a specific course. And these are some of the examples of things that we actually teach. So, for example, thinking traps, all right? So one of the thinking traps might well be that actually you don't like me, when I said the joke, you didn't laugh, therefore you're opposed to me, and therefore, actually, I should say to myself, it wasn't that, you just didn't understand the joke because it's a cultural difference, right? So therefore, it's actually not judging. When someone doesn't say hello to you in the street, it isn't because they don't like you, it's actually because they were thinking about the fact that they've got to do the shopping. You've got to, don't fall into those kind of traps. Putting it in perspective. So whenever you get some kind of issue and it's going terribly bad, put it in the context of, say, the Las Vegas shooting. And actually, when you consider it in that kind of world, the problem you've got is of nothing compared to those other people. Putting things in perspective in kind of relationships is what we try to do. There are many others I could do, but I won't. Detecting icebergs. If you overreact to something, it's because actually it's triggered something within you which has made you explode, and you don't know what it looked to be about something trivial, but actually it triggered something else within you. Find out what those things are within you which actually make you trigger in that kind of way. And then there's examples of what we've done. So this is, University of Melbourne is doing some longitudinal research for us, and you can see that actually, therefore, from our top blue line, and this happens to be year 10 to 11, but actually, therefore, because it's been built upon what's gone before and our year 9 particular program, our students are finding that their life satisfaction compared to that of many others is significantly higher than it would be. So what we found is that the mental stress is reduced for our students. Their life satisfaction is higher. Their happiness is higher. Their gratitude is so much greater. One of the things we get our students to do is write a gratitude letter to someone they genuinely want to say thank you to. They write the gratitude letter, they go and see them. Let me say I'm doing it for you. I go along and I read it to you. Can you imagine what that makes you feel when I read a gratitude letter to you in expressing authentic happiness and the appreciation of what you've done for me as a student or as a person? It's a wonderful thing that we do. And the last thing I was going to say is we started the Institute of Positive Education in 2012, and since then they've trained over 10,000 teachers in over 1,000 schools. Because for me, it was always about sharing it with other people. It was never an issue for Geelong Grammar School per se as something private to us. It was always about something for the rest of the world, because these issues are universal. And therefore, the more we can do to help other people, the better it will be. And therefore, that's what the Institute is doing, and is training people wherever they may be. Okay, I've got 1 minute and 17 seconds. Has anyone got a question they would like to ask? Otherwise, I'm going to give you a test.
We'll ask questions then.
Okay.
Are other people in other parts of the world using it? And how is that going?
Yeah, it is in other parts of the world. So we have trained in about 12 countries so far. We've taken this. I think positive education and well-being is very much the idea of its age. I think 30 years ago, you'd have been laughed to scorn. These days, it's absolutely so. It's across the world. I think we are, as Sergey said, we are the school that started, essentially. Positive education was created as a word at our school in 2008. But it is certainly across the world. And well-being and actually being conscious of the fact that you need to be responsible for more than just the student's academic life, but the whole rounded world of it is absolutely across the world. So we've trained in lots of other countries and many other schools. Mexico, I mean, there are lots and lots. There's now the International Positive Education School Network, and therefore they had their first conference in Texas last year. The next one's next year, and this is part of the whole universal world that's going in. I've got 11 seconds, so I'm going to stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.